All right, man. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Not for Debate podcast. It's yours truly, back in the biddy, back in the building. I will tell you this: it 100% feels good to be back on this microphone, back in front of you guys, talking a lot about sports to a lot of you who don't know about sports. um, but Yeah, man, it's feel good to be back. Been away for a while. Had a lot of things going on in my life personally. Thank you to everybody out there who's been in support of your boy uh, since I've been away. Thank you guys for all your endless support, and I appreciate that. But let's get straight to the business, man. Let's get straight to it. As some of you know, there was a very significant injury, was a few significant injuries that happened uh, today at the start of the NFL training camp. Most notably, my guy, and y'all know how I feel about this person, right? I don't have to sit here and get all long winded and tell y'all just how dominant he's been since he came into the NFL. Just how dominant he's been since he's been playing the game of football, right? Um, but Jalen Ramsey, unfortunately, uh, was carted off the field today. The start of Miami Dolphins training camp. I know a lot of Dolphin fans out there are very nervous. Well, they were nervous. I think the news kind of when the news broke out about how long he was going to be out due to the injury, um, it kind of softened the blow a little bit, right? Like I don't think everybody's as worried as they were before when they didn't know, when everybody was kind of shook by the news. I think I was at work, minding my business, and my boy Brian, shout out my boy Brian. He comes up to me. As soon as I sit at my desk, I'm not even 5 minutes into my shift, and he comes up to me. He taps me on my shoulder, taps me on my back, and he says, "Hey, man, did you hear about the news?" And I said to myself, "Bro, what the hell are you talking about?" First off, I just got here in the building. I don't know what the hell you talking about, bro. Like, what are you talking about, Brian? Tell me what's it. Bro, Jalen Ramsey. So when somebody comes to me and they says that, right, and they say, "Did you hear about the news?" and then they don't kind of like get straight to the point, and they just go, you know what I'm saying? It's like get straight to the fucking point, bro. Like tell me what's going on, right? So I'm like, what do you mean, Jason Ramsey? Like, what happened? Um, excuse me. He goes, man, Jalen Ramsey's hurt. They just charted him off the field, and I immediately went, oh no, man, what? Like, what happened? Like, what was the injury? So I immediately grabbed my cell phone and I went straight to all these apps that I use, Bleacher Report, all these different apps to score, everything. I went straight to the news outlets, Twitter, because Jalen Ramsey's on Twitter a lot, and I'm trying to find out what's going on. So the number one source that I found that got straight to the point was Bleacher Report. And when I go on Bleacher Report, I go to the Miami Dolphins fan page, right? And I go to the fan page guys, if you just by the way, this is the first stream on a brand new mic. If you guys are getting any kind of feedback or anything like that, please holler back and let me know. If you don't hear me any type of way, please drop in the comments and let me know so I can make sure I can make those necessary adjustments. But I go and I check and I go to the Miami Dolphins Bleacher Report page and I look into it and I find out and the Dolphins fans that are there at the camp facilities, they're getting straight to it. Everybody's dropping, oh my God, this can't be happening right now. And I'm thinking the worst. I'm thinking the worst because everybody from like I said from the Dolphins side of things on the Bleacher Report app, they have a community tab section there, which I welcome everybody to check that out. By the way, if you have Bleacher Report and you're not part of your team's community, you're not a real fan. I'm just throwing that out there. But um, I go to the community tab and I'm seeing all these different people post all these different things about Jalen Ramsey's injury. So I immediately just think the worst shit. I'm like, okay, something had to been really serious. So when they say he got carted off the field, I go, oh shit, it has to be some type of did he tear his ACL, da 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 da, because he got carted off. So I wait a couple of minutes to see if there's going to be some type of beat writer or something like that for the Miami Dolphins. Or is he going to say something? Or somebody got to say something. The Dolphins wired. Somebody got to say something. So I'm waiting and I hear nothing. So this is around, I don't want to say around 2:30, 3 o'clock. Some news started to leak out about Jalen Ramsey's injury. Fred, what's good, bro? Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Thank you, bro. Um, so the news comes out more and more about Jalen Ramsey's injury, and I go, and they say that Jalen Ramsey got into a and to it didn't get into it. Let me not say that because I don't want to say the wrong thing because I know how you Dolphin fans is, but especially about y'all team, and I ain't got time for that shit today. I just got home. I'm not trying to be fighting with y'all today. I love y'all. Y'all hate me. I get it, but there happened to be some type of interaction between Jalen Ramsey and Tyreek Hill in practice, and I think it was like the last play of the game or something like that. And say something about Tyreek Hill bumping into Jalen Ramsey or something like that, and that caused him to tweak his knee, and he had to get caught up the field. So many of the news outlets right now, many of the sports reporters, everybody's reporting across all news wires right now, all sports news wires, that the injury to Jalen Ramsey is very significant, right? He didn't tear his ACL or his MCL or anything like that, but he's going to be out. LOL, we fight by the Dolphins. Yes, we do, bro. Yes, we do. Listen, Dolphin fans, I just want y'all to know this, right? We're going to have a long season, right? And now that I got things set up on my own, I'm doing my own thing now, and it's going to be a long season, right? Because I'm already, y'all know me, bro. Like, y'all know me. And again, let me say this. I want nothing more than to see the Miami Dolphins be a winning football team. All right. I am 35 years old. Okay. I'm 35 years old. I cannot remember the last time I seen the Miami Dolphins in anything relevant. There was a few seasons back in the 2000, early 2000s where they were, that Miami Dolphin team, which I'm going to have the utmost respect for, that had Zach Thomas, Jason Taylor, Brock Marion, Sam Madison, Patrick Surtain, Chris Chambers, Randy McMichael, Ricky Williams, and they had fucking Jay Feeler at quarterback. Ray Lucas was the quarterback. Dante Culpepper was the quarterback. Chad Pennington was the quarterback. So I feel y'all. When I get on social media and I'm posting and I'm tweeting and all this stuff, when I say things, I'm not trying to intentionally piss y'all off. I'm not. But y'all got to remember, I'm mostly the same age as most of my friends that I chat with on social media. I see the good and the bad, the very bad. I remember the season the Miami Dolphins had, I forget exactly what the record was, but they were really bad one year, like really bad. I'm talking about almost historically bad. And that one year, this is the year when they incorporated the Wildcat. Yes, I remember now. They incorporated the Wildcat with Ronnie Brown and Ricky Williams. Their quarterback play was so bad that year. The Miami Dolphins quarterback play was so bad that year. They actually had to line their running back up behind it to take snaps from the center and almost use the running back as the quarterback sometimes. That's how bad they were. So listen when I tell y'all this, Miami fans. Listen when I tell y'all this. I keep it real. You know that. Yes, A-Ball, you are 100% right. You definitely keep it 1,000, all right? You're one of the few. All right, I'll tell you, I'll definitely give you a props. You're one of the few people that actually keep it 1,000. And I'll say this. Dolphin fans, I really think that this is the year that you guys are really going to make some noise. This Jalen Ramsey injury is a bit of a setback. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Y'all know I'm a huge supporter of Jalen Ramsey. When he was with my Rams last season, and even before that, when he was in Jacksonville, Florida State, all that, I've been a very big fan of Jalen Ramsey. I think Jalen Ramsey, when it's all said and done, and this is going to be a hot take, and I don't give a damn how nobody feels about it. I just don't care. Okay? I don't care what no one has to say. I think When Jalen Ramsey hangs everything up and he walks away from the game, right? When he's done, I think Jalen Ramsey is going to be one of the top 5 corners to ever play the game. Okay? One of the top 5 corners to play the game. And we'll get into those types of subjects later down the line. I'm not going to go into my list of who's top 5 right now because y'all not going to agree with me anyway. But we're going to have time for that. Like I said, we're going to do more and more of these videos because now I don't have to wait for anybody to jump on board and be supportive and none of that stuff. I don't have to worry about those things anymore. Now it's just me. I'm going to be logging on every single day or every other day, whatever the case may be, and I'm going to be pushing out and working on more content. We made the playoffs that year. Did you make the playoffs that year? I thought that was the year y'all was really bad. No, you know what the hell I'm talking about. One of those years the Dolphins was really bad. They just had to play. They had to run Wildcat almost every single down because the quarterback play was just inconsistent as hell. They were just not good. Okay. So I know, I almost share the same amount of pain as you guys got. Tom got hurt. Tom who? Tom Brady? Are you referring to the GOAT? When you say Tom, it's no longer Tom no more. You have to put GOAT. When you refer to Tom Brady, at least around me, you got to put GOAT next to that. So I know exactly what you're talking about. All right. But what's the next direction for the Miami Dolphins? All right. Because what they're saying is Jalen Ramsey is going to be out for the next 4 to 6 weeks. There's one report saying 4 to 6 weeks. There's other reports saying that he won't be back. The earliest he'll be back is December. And that's pretty significant. That's pretty significant. If you think about the amount of time that Jalen Ramsey is going to miss, right? When you think about it, you think about how long Jalen Ramsey is going to be out, right? If the reports are true, and if the timeline is in fact and it stands and it's correct, and the timeline happens, he got to hold. If we have to hold Jalen Ramsey to that timeline, right? If Jalen Ramsey is expected to be back by December, y'all do know that's a good portion of the season. That's the year he got hit low. Okay, so that's the year that they changed the rule for hitting the quarterbacks low. Okay, got it. Okay, and we got a good rookie with nice size. Yes, and I'm actually on. See, Fred, you know what? One of these days, I'm gonna have to have you on the show as a guest because I like that you stay on topic, right? I love talking with people, especially with sports, right? I like talking sports to people who stay on topic. I don't like people who are all over the damn place. Right? Because it doesn't work. Because sometimes I'm all over the place. And we can't have 2 people talking all over the place. We're not going to get shit done. Right? It's not going to get done. But Fred, thank you, bro. I appreciate that. You're 100% right. The rookie you guys have, a gentleman by the name of Cam Smith out of the University of South Carolina. We're talking about 6'1", 180 pounds. Dolphins fans, I just got to know. I gotta know this, all right? And I want honest responses here, right? I want honest responses. I don't want y'all to give me no bullshit, all right? I don't want no cap. I want straight, honest answers. Do you guys trust the rookie to come in? Okay, okay, because Jalen's out until December. Okay, at least December. That's what we're saying. That's the timeline for Jalen Ramsey. At least until December. Dolphin fans, do we trust putting the keys in the hands of a rookie? Let's be honest here. It's a lot to think about. Do you guys trust that? Because this rookie, if in fact the Dolphins happen to put him in as a starter, right? He's going to be the number 2 corner, which means he's going to play opposite side of Xavier Howard. Now, when you think about that, Xavier Howard is probably coming off again. Okay, again, I have to remember that I'm talking to the Dolphins fans here, right? And I know Dolphin fans are really sensitive sometimes, all right? So I'm going to say this. Probably. Xavier Howard is probably coming off one of the worst seasons he's had as an NFL professional. And to be honest with you, I'm well aware of the injuries, right? Because I know that Xavier Howard suffered with I think it was an apparent hamstring injury all season. I'm aware of that. I'm not naive. But on this show, we deal with the facts. And the facts are Xavier Howard's season last year wasn't that great. It's even got people in the media even questioning his ability now. They're saying, well, can you still do this? Are you? I believe I saw a few days ago at a press conference where Xavier Howard's at the podium and he's answering questions. And I guess someone asked him something on the lines of, do you still think you got it what it takes to be a number one corner in the league and that, yada, yada. Or are you a number one corner now that Jalen Ramsey's there? And Xavier Howard goes, basically says, motherfucker, do you know who you're talking to? I'm Xavier Howard. Yes, I'm a number one corner. So we got a rookie starting on the opposite side of Xavier Howard again. Cam Smith, 6'1", 180 pounds. He put on a really good show in the combine before coming into the NFL draft. Defensive coordinator Vic Fangio drafted him. I like to think that Vic Fangio is a very smart defensive coordinator. See, this is part of the show every week where we're going to talk and we're going to learn and we're going to grow because I know football. I may not have played it professionally and things like that. I have my good street ball here and there, whatever. But I know football. Okay. Hey, we got a good size. I think most of the starters stay healthy. Yes, because our defense was hurt last year. Very true. Very true. Yes, the Dolphins defense suffered a bit last year because they had a lot of injuries. I'm aware of that. Again, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I'm not gonna get on here and on this camera and put my face in front of a screen and give y'all some BS. I'm gonna tell the truth, right? I'm well aware that the Dolphins defense was banged up and that they didn't really get their stride and didn't get things right until later part in the season. Most notably, playoff game versus the Buffalo Bills. That's probably the best defensive performance that I've seen from the Miami Dolphins all season that year when they played against Buffalo. But again, it's hard to put a whole bunch on that game because it's a division team, it's a rival. The Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins play each other twice a year. They know each other very well. And again, I'm not knocking the defense, y'all. I'm not hating or anything. I'm just calling the facts. All right? It's Buffalo. All right? The Miami Dolphins always give the Buffalo Bills a run for their money. Those games are always very close. It's hardly ever, never really a blowout in any of those games. They're rivals. So I expect the Miami Dolphins defense to show up. Now, again, with that being said, Cam Smith, Vic Fangio, we know the type of defensive philosophy, again, that Vic Fangio wants to incorporate. Everybody knows, if you follow the game of football and you know who Vic Fangio is, right? You know Vic Fangio is notorious for one thing, and he does one thing very well. Okay? And I'm going to call it, and I actually said this to a friend of mine a few days ago. I think that the Miami Dolphins hiring Vic Fangio was probably going to end up, all depends on how the Dolphins season go, right? It's probably going to end up being the offseason move of the year. Especially if that defense gets to clicking week one and then they incorporate Jalen back. And I think the better that the defense does, the actual time they can give Jalen Ramsey to recover, because he wouldn't feel the need to come rush back because the defense is playing poorly. If the Miami Dolphins defense is playing like the way they're supposed to play, in the way that I think they're going to play this year, because I think the Dolphins defense is going to be the reason why they're going to be leaps and bounds better this year. I'm not really concerned about the offensive side of the ball. I think the offense is going to pretty much repeat everything that they did last year. I'm not going to be too surprised with that. Yeah, McDaniels is probably going to throw a few little gadgets in there, mixing it up every now and then, whatever. But I think we've seen the peak of that offense, right? I think we've seen the peak of it. We've seen what that offense is going to be able to produce. The question mark is the defense. The question mark is the pass rush. Can the Miami Dolphins generate some pressure? Right? And Fred, back to your point, you bring up a great point, brother. If the starters can stay healthy, that's the key word there. Healthy. If the Dolphins starters can stay healthy, there's a good chance that they'll end up making the playoffs and maybe going farther. Maybe, possibly AFC Championship. And for Dolphins fans, your wildest dreams, maybe a Super Bowl. Who knows? To be determined. TBD. We don't know yet. Okay. I'm an optimistic individual. I'm not a negative Betty whatsoever. I think that giving a rookie a chance, if the Dolphins happen to start the rookie going into the season week 1, it immediately sets a tone and it says a lot about that kid, right? If they decide to start him week 1, it says a lot about the kid. That means they trust him and he's a good replacement in the event, right? In the event the Dolphins need to part ways with, I don't know, Jalen Ramsey or Xavier Howard or whomever. I think starting him is a good idea. Looking back at the Dolphins, the defensive depth chart with the cornerback position, it hasn't really been that good. I know they were hanging their hats up on what's the guy's name, Byron Jones, or Brian Jones being a long-term piece of the puzzle. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. I think I'm willing to give him a chance. I think the offense can be better if the running game is better. I agree with that. Thank you very much for that information, Fred. I agree with you 100% on that, brother. If the Dolphins offense, if the Dolphins can figure out a way of effectively running the football, that offense should be leaps and bounds better, which is scary when you think about it, right? Because their offense was much improved without a running game. Okay? Without a running game, the Miami Dolphins offense put up some big numbers. Without a running game, Tua looked like an MVP for most part of the year. I'll be honest. Right? I'm not a fan of Tua, but I'll be honest. Without a running game, Tua still looked like an MVP. So to your point, Fred, if they can find a way to consistently run the football, I know with the kid that they drafted out of Texas A&M, A-Chain, there's high hopes for him. I don't know if Dalvin Cook is still something that the Miami Dolphins are looking to acquire. To me, it never seemed like Dalvin Cook wanted to be here in Miami in the first place. Call me a hater. I don't care. I didn't think that Dalvin Cook wanted to come to Miami. I think the only reason why Dalvin Cook wanted to come to Miami is because Miami might have been really desperate. But then when they saw what Dalvin Cook was asking for, they're like, nah, we good. Because you guys know what's going on right now with the whole running back position and running backs not getting paid the money that they think they deserve and all that type of stuff. I think Dalvin Cook is worth it. He comes with a risk. He's a very he hasn't had the most of luck with his health. So I understand why the Dolphins, if they don't sign him, I understand why. Personally, I don't think y'all need him. I think it would have been overkill if y'all got him. But hey, the more the merrier, right? The more the better. If the Dolphins can acquire him, great, good for y'all. Hey, no hate in my heart. My team has won a Super Bowl in my lifetime, so I don't care. Listen, what you guys do, my team won a Super Bowl 2 years ago. Rams fan here, by the way. But again, where does this leave the Miami Dolphins, right? With Jalen Ramsey's injury. How does this affect them as a team? I don't think it affects them that much because training camp just started. Guys really haven't figured each other out. They haven't found out each other's tendencies yet. We still got to see the football get thrown around a little bit more. There's still things that need to be done. Again, you heard it here first. I'm expecting big things from the Miami Dolphins. I am. Okay. Even with Jalen Ramsey's injury, I still think the Miami Dolphins are going to be a very competitive football team this year, especially if Tua can stay healthy. That is the number one component. I think everybody's looking over. That is the reason why I picked the New York Jets to be better than the Miami Dolphins this year. The single reason why, okay, is because I just don't trust Tua's health, his overall health. I don't trust it. Me personally, I don't trust it. But again, it could work out. Tua could be, free from injury, which would be good news for you guys. If Tua's free from injury, that's good news for you guys. So I don't know. We'll have to see how things work. Okay. So with that being said, we are going to move on to the next segment. Tua will be a make or break for sure. I agree with you, Ant, 1,000%. I agree with you, 1,000%. If Tua is healthy, the Miami Dolphins are going to go far. I think, and again, this is me going live on the internet, on Facebook. You guys can hold me to it. I don't care. Stick my neck out here. I'm gonna go with a bold prediction. I'm gonna go with a bold prediction here, right? If the Miami Dolphins can get Tua to stay healthy and Tua can play like he played last year, maybe take a little bit better care of the football. And when he plays against those really top notch defenses, like the 49ers, for instance, who kind of, in my opinion, kind of exposed to it. If he can play better and be more aggressive sometimes, if the defense can start early and not late and click and mesh together, I think the Miami Dolphins could very well be in at least, right? And I'm gonna say this, at least the AFC Championship game, maybe even the Super Bowl, maybe Super Bowl, but we don't know. We got to get there, okay? We got to get there first, okay? I'm excited for y'all, right? Again, I'm not hating. Agreed. I'm glad you agreed, brother. I'm glad you agreed, brother. Thank you so much for that. I think the Miami Dolphins are going to be good. I want to see it for the city of Miami. I love my city, even though I don't like the teams. I love the city of Miami. Born and raised in the county of Dade, got Dade County tattooed on me. I love my city. I just don't like the teams. I don't know why. It's just the way it is. I love my city. And it would mean a lot to see all my friends who I've known for all my life, all these years, finally get to laugh and cry at a parade if the Dolphins win a Super Bowl. I know that you guys would be very excited to see that. We'll see. It's again TBD, to be determined, because we don't know yet. I think Ramsey will hurt. I think the Ramsey will hurt only if Cam doesn't step up or the pass rush is not there. I think Chubb and Phillips big this year. Oh yeah, Steve mentioned those guys, but this, Fred, to go back to that point, and I'm gonna say this before we go on to the next segment, right? I did say the pass rush last year for the Dolphins was a little bit let down. The Miami Dolphins pass rush needs to be better. And the Miami Dolphins pass rush needs to come out right away, out the gates. Fast and strong and healthy. We need Bradley Chubb. Why am I saying we? I'm a Dolphins fan now. Oh my God. I just said we. I'm gonna chop that part out because I damn sure I'm saying we. Let's go. Fans nation, fans up. But the Dolphins pass rush needs to be on point this year. They need to come out fast and they stay healthy. Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, you're 100% right about that. Those two guys need to be able to. This is the year for them. Make or break for them. Because I'm hearing all about all this potential, especially with Phillips. I'm hearing about all this potential. They brought this guy up, and rightfully so, because he's a beast. He's a monster. When you look at him, he's a god. When you look at his body and how he's set up, the kid is fast. He plays quick. He plays aggressive. He gets after the quarterback. You throw that in there with Christian Wilkins, who's a freaking beast. You throw that in there with Raekwon Davis, who's a freaking beast. You throw that in there with Emmanuel Ogba, who's a freaking beast when he's healthy. The Dolphins really have a good chance. We're talking about Jalen Phillips, 6'5", 263 pounds, from the University of Miami. If you guys can get that going, man, it could be a problem. It could very well be a problem. But again, as I said before, and I say it again, TBD. We don't know yet. We have to get to the season to see. But I can't tell you all this though. I will definitely be there every single week, breaking down the games every single week, talking my crap every single week. Now, really quick, I want to just move on to the next segment. All right. We sometimes we as people we can get caught up in the hype a little bit too much. Right? I think that. And one of the things that I've noticed lately is people on social media just don't give a damn what they say out their mouth no more. They just don't care. There was a snip that came out today from Jeff Teague, former NBA basketball player, played for the Atlanta Hawks for a couple of years. That Atlanta Hawks team was pretty decent, unfortunately. They were in the East. They were going against LeBron every year. And Miami Heat, that they weren't good enough to beat them. But that Atlanta Hawks team was pretty decent. They had Jamal Crawford, Jeff Teague, Al Horford, Lou Williams, Josh Smith, Joe Johnson. We can go on and on and on. It's a pretty decent team. They're not that bad of a team. Jeff Teague, for what it's worth, decent player. Not too great, not too bad. He's just middle of the pack. He's like a Mike Conley. If you guys know who Mike Conley is. Not too great, not too bad. He was okay. Right? But I'm going to put Mike Conley above him, though. I'm not going to be that crazy. But he was on record saying that Dwayne Wade is not better than James Harden. James Harden is better than Dwayne Wade. Now, we've heard some crazy shit in this world. I've heard some crazy shit in this world. And that's definitely one of the things that's crazy as hell. Jeff Teague, if you see this message, man, if you see that you happen to see this video, you, my brother, as I said before, is what's wrong with the media. You guys, and again, I'm always entitled to their opinion, right? I don't want anybody to feel like they can't have an opinion because you can have an opinion. I don't mind if you have an opinion. That's our constitutional right. Right to free speech. We're allowed to have an opinion and say things what we want, right? Now remember, just because we're allowed to say what we want doesn't mean that we're right about what we say. Okay? And that's a little lesson I want to leave with y'all, all right? Just because we're allowed to say what we want to say doesn't mean we're right about what we're saying. Jeff T, my brother, you are 1,000% incorrect about what you're saying. How in the hell are you going to jump on a podcast and say what you said about James Harden being better than Dwayne Wade? Listen, let's say this, all right? And I'm going to stand on, and that's one thing about it. I stand on what I say, okay? I don't hardly backtrack anything. I stand on what I say. To get me to change how I feel about something, if you ask my family, they'll tell you it's kind of hard to get Deron to change his mind. Ask my friends. It's kind of hard to get Banks to change his mind, right? JT, man, that was just some bullshit, bro. And you got to slow down. The Dwayne Wade slander needs to stop ASAP. Okay? I am sick and tired of hearing all about the Dwayne Wade slander. And what I mean by that is, if you pay attention to what's going on, one person in particular, NBA Hall of Famer, Boston Celtics legend, the truth himself, Paul Pierce, has been notorious. Paul Pierce has been notorious. All right. He don't like the Miami Heat. He don't like a lot of the players. It don't seem like he's a fan of it at all. But we know this already. Honestly, when I heard what was said, she thought that Paul Pierce was the one that said it. I was like, oh, this is Paul Pierce talking shit again. Like, it's Paul Pierce. Who cares? But then I seen the player that it came from, and they said it was Jeff T, I laughed. I laughed like I'm doing now. Because who the hell is Jeff T? Brother, listen. Listen. Okay, now let me get serious now. Jeff T, your stats ain't there, bro. Your stats ain't there, bro. When you speak on Dwayne Wade, you got to be careful. Because, see, you know what? This is what I told somebody today at work, right? When I was at work. There's just certain people that you just don't speak on. There's certain players that you just don't speak on, right? Because you sound like a damn fool when you do it. Here's a list of players that I prefer people not to speak on. Here's a list of players, right? I'm gonna give y'all a list of players. 1, Michael Jordan. Don't speak on Michael Jordan. 2, Kobe Bryant. Don't speak on Kobe Bryant. 3, Tim Duncan. Don't speak on Tim Duncan. 4, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, LeBron James. All the legends. Okay? Guys who have proven themselves time and time and time again to be about everything that they say that they are about. T was an average or just below player. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 1,000%. Guys have got to stop trying to get hot takes, okay? It's pissing me off. We need to cut this shit out. We need to end this right away. Because, like I said, certain players you should just not talk about unless you're talking about their greatness. Okay? I'm a Chicago Bulls fan, diehard, through and through. Okay? But even I know that Dwayne Wade is okay. Hey, my brother, when you get on record and you say things like James Harden is better than Dwayne Wade, Dwayne Wade has Shaquille O'Neal, do you know how foolish you sound? Do you know how foolish you sound? How is it Dwayne Wade's fault that Shaquille O'Neal wanted, by the way, okay, just to throw this shit out there because again, I know the backstories to some of these alliances. I follow sports religiously. That's what I do all day long. Besides be a good father and a son and all that type of stuff, I watch sports all day long. Okay. Jeff T, brother, you gotta stop. Okay. Stop. Do not go down this road. As a matter of fact, I think Jeff T should go out publicly and apologize to Dwayne Wade and say, you know what, Dwayne Wade, I was wrong, bro. I'm sorry. And guess what? If you decide to apologize, it's no knock to James Harden. I'm not saying James Harden is trash, because James Harden is a really good player. He's great, actually. He's going to be one of the best shooting guards to ever play the game. Hell, if I had to give my list right now with top shooting guards, he's in the top 5. My list would be Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, Brandon Roy, and I'll put James Harden in there. I'll put James Harden in there. I'll put James Harden in there. I will give James Harden top 5 shooting guard of all time, but you ain't no goddamn better than no Dwayne Wade. Jeff T, you need to stop. I saw somebody throw Allen Iverson in there. Allen Iverson. See, I didn't include Allen Iverson only because I didn't see Allen Iverson as a point guard. I mean, not a point guard, a shooting guard. I think that's more of a point guard who just didn't pass. And the reason I said it is because of his frame, right? He was small. You know, AI was a shooting guard. If you want to throw AI in that shit, we could take. Yeah, okay, and that okay. Hold on. All right. See. Now we're making things a little bit interesting here because, in fact, all right. All right. Listen, we're gonna play the hypothetical game here, right? Let's just say, right? Let's just say AI was a combo guard. Absolutely. Let's just say we do include Allen Iverson in this list. Guess what, James Harden? You can sell another spot. See, that's how crazy just T is. That's how nonsense what he said. That's just how it is. On no universe, in no universe on any planet is James Harden better than Dwayne Wade. He took all the shots. He did. He took all the shots. That is facts. Well, I'm sure when you're talking about us. So yeah. AI didn't take it, but he had to. Listen, this just might be the comment of the day. That right there. That might just be the comment of the pod. Let's just game my top 5, and my stupid ass forgot to even mention that. Wow. That's how many good shooting guards that have been in the NBA. That's how many shooting guards were better than James Harden. Then I forgot to mention Reggie Miller, Ray Allen. Oh my God. Reggie Miller, Ray Allen, if you happen to see this video, or if this gets snipped and threw out there on the internet, I apologize. But you're right. Yeah, you said those guys are better. It's an argument. It's an argument. It's a valid argument. It's a valid argument. But let's circle back, right? Let's go back. The point is, okay, Jeff T. The point is, James Harden ain't better than Dwayne Wade. Jeff T, my brother, I want to remind you, okay? You were drafted 2009, round 1, pick number 19 by the Atlanta Hawks. Your career stats, respectable, okay? Respectable. You average a respectable 12 points a game, 2 rebounds a game, 5.6 assists a game. You shot 44% from the field in your career. As I said earlier, Jeff T was an okay player. But it's an okay player commenting on a legend. Do you see what's going on here? This is my issue. As a matter of fact, this is my challenge to other podcasts. Because you know what? Knowing me, if Jeff T would have brought his ass on the Not for Debate podcast and he would have said that bullshit, I would have ended the pod immediately and told Jeff T, thank you, brother. It's been real. I never want to see you again. Listen, I'm not that hard pressed or that desperate for likes, views, shares. I'm not going to sell my soul for nothing. And if you're going to get on the internet and say James Harden is better than Dwayne Wade, you might as well sell your damn soul. Yeah, it's that serious. Because it's bullshit. Okay? It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Jeff T, you ain't done enough. You ain't done enough. You ain't done enough to make those kind of comments. Let's take a look down memory lane. My brother Jaron brings up a very good point. Does everybody remember? I'm sure Miami fans remember this, right? I'm sure Miami fans remember this. They remember this very well. As my brother just said here, 2006 was the greatest finals performance that I ever witnessed. I think it's a stretch. Okay, I with you there. I see where you going. You setting the tone, bro. You setting the tone. I feel you, dog. You setting the tone. I get it. Wade cemented himself that series. Games 3 and 6 by him were amazing. He just cloud chasing. My brother, you 100% right. All right, listen. With that being said, let me remind y'all. Let me remind y'all of a vital component here, right? I'm just gonna throw some numbers out here. 2006, the Miami Dolphins. Oh, sorry, apologies. 2006, the Miami Heat played the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA Finals. For what it's worth, that finals probably wasn't, one of the ones that you could say was all-time great finals, but it was an all-time great performance by none other than Dwayne Flash Wade. Sorry. They need to start letting these retired players on these damn podcasts because they just be saying damn, yeah, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. These players are out of control, bro. It's out of control because that don't make no damn sense what Jeff T just said. But I want to make a point really quick. Your boy, I want to make a point. All right? Follow me. All right, boys, follow me. Wayne Wade's stats for the 2006 NBA Finals were as follows. In that series, as my brother Jaron just said, between games 3 and 6, Dwayne Wade averaged an amazing 34.7 points per game. 7.8 rebounds per game. 3.8 assists per game. And do not forget, in game 3, he scored 42 points. 42. 42. You know how many damn points that is to score when the defense knows that you're getting the ball and you still score? That's a lot of damn points. That's Michael Jordan-esque performance. In that game, okay, in that game 3, do not forget that he scored 10 of those points in the fourth quarter. So let me just say this. Jeff T, stop talking about basketball. Stick to playing it. Because clearly, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Clearly, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. See, it gets people angry and upset, like myself, when people come out here on these podcasts and they say all these things that are not true. It just pisses me off. You cannot get on a podcast and disrespect a player like Dwayne Wade. If I was part of that podcast, or if I was a co-host or something like that, if Jeff T said that shit out of his mouth and I told y'all, I would have ended the podcast. You got to go, dog. I don't ever want to talk to you again. Wade County stamp. Can't nobody deny that. Jeff Abb just running his mouth. I agree with you 100%. Moochie, I agree with you. Okay? Even me as a Bulls fan, and I argue with y'all motherfuckers all day, every day on social media. All day, every day. All the time. But one thing that I will not do is cap. I ain't gonna do it. If you think that James Harden is better than Dwayne Wade, you on drugs. Wade destroyed Harden in the finals, even though he was young. Facts. Did Jeff T bring that up? No, he didn't. He didn't bring that up, did he? Yeah, he brought us. But he brought us Shaquille O'Neal though. Oh, well, Dwayne Wade has Shaquille O'Neal. Okay, all right. Is that a guy thing? Jeff T got on perks. Man, he got it definitely perk, Molly, have salts, fentanyl, something is in that boy's stream. Get him tested and keep him off the show. Keep him off your podcast. I'll go a step further. Might piss some people off, but I believe Dwayne Wade is a bigger sports figure in Miami than Dan Marino. Wade was him. It's the reason the GOAT came and the team up with him in the first. I agree with that. And I don't think you can piss anybody off by saying that. I think that you're 100% correct. I think that Dwayne Wade is the best Miami sports figure ever. So I don't think there's any sports athlete I don't think there's any sports athlete ever better than Dwayne Wade in Miami. Nobody. I don't think any of those guys are better than Dwayne Wade. And there's been a lot of them, bud. There's been a whole lot. He even could bring in Ricky Williams for a little bit, what he had going on, all that stuff. But I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I think Dwayne Wade is the greatest sports figure in Miami sports history. Because you want to know what separates him from everybody else? You want to know what separates him from Dan Marino? What separates him? And it's no knock on Dan Marino. Because I think Dan Marino is the best quarterback to ever play football. I always said that. Always. Okay. But unfortunately, when it had a GOAT debate, you're going to leave Dan Marino off because why? He ain't got the hardware, baby. He ain't got the championship rings. He don't got what Tom Brady got. Tom Brady got 7 of them things. If Dan Marino had just one, I would still put Dan Marino over Tom Brady 7. Because Dan Marino was that guy. What separates Dwayne Wade from Dan Marino? He's a champion. He brought this city its first NBA championship in history. As a matter of fact, let me tell you this even further. Every single championship that the Miami Heat have, Dwayne Wade's name is attached to that championship. So, Jeff T, brother, you got to know your stuff, man. And again, this ain't no knock on James Harden. This ain't no knock on James Harden. I think James Harden is one of the best players to ever play the game. But when you go to bring up the name Dwayne Wade, put some respect on Dwayne Wade's name and stop playing with my boy. All right? Don't play with my boy. What Dwayne Wade did in this league was insane. What Dwayne Wade brought to the city of Miami 2006, when everybody was down there, Biscayne, with pots and pans. What has James Harden done besides winning MVP? They passing out MVPs left and right. We want results. We want championships. That's all I care about. I don't care about nothing else. And guess what? Dwayne Wade doesn't even have an MVP. But guess what? There's a few years that you can argue that he could have won an MVP. But guess what? He doesn't. Do you know what Dwayne Wade is? A 3-time NBA champion. You know what Dwayne Wade is? An Olympic gold medalist. So when you get on these sites and you say these things, be careful. Okay? Be careful what you say. Appreciate you too, bro. Appreciate you too. Listen, fellas, we will be back. Okay? You guys are going to see, like I said, you guys are going to see more and more of my face every single week, probably every other day. More and more content is on its way. I have a lot of stuff that I'm still working on behind the scenes. I really thank y'all boys so much for y'all support. Please, if you get an opportunity to, don't forget to stop by and like the Not for Debate podcast on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram at NFD Podcast. Also on YouTube at Not for Debate. I want to say this, all right, because I always this is we talk sports, right? And I don't mind talking sports, but I will say this because every time I'm in my podcast for my loyal followers who know, right, I always leave it on a positive note, especially for my fellas, right? Fellas, remember, we are one of few, all right? Let's make sports a place where we can all get along. No fighting, no fussing, no arguing, no killing each other. Let's have a good time. Football season is on its way. Okay. Remember, keep it real with yourself. You keep it real with yourself by being a good father, a good role model, a good husband, a good boyfriend, whatever it is that you can be. You be good at what you do. All right. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. All right. Whether you hear it from your girl or not, your kids, or anything like that, don't matter. You're hearing it from my voice. All right. I'm extremely proud of y'all boys. Y'all boys, make sure y'all stay on top of y'all game. Take care of your kids. Raider Nation, Jamar, listen, congratulations, my brother. Welcome back to Homestead. But I'm gonna have a field day with you this year too, bruh. Because we're gonna talk about the Raiders in a few segments. We definitely gonna sit down and talk about the Raiders in a few segments. Okay. Because what y'all doing is just crazy. All right. We're gonna get there. But with that being said, again, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Not For Today podcast. Hit the boy up. You see me out in public, man. Say what's up. And man, y'all boys stay up. This your boy Banks. I'm up out of here, man. Peace.